You're watching 10 quick facts about the O train. Let's get started. Fact number 1. Why does O train line 1 run trains in pairs? The Alstom Citadis Spirit LRVs used on line 1 can operate individually with a length of 48.5 meters, but they're normally coupled together to form an approximately 97 meter long train. Running two LRVs together gives the train significantly more passenger capacity, about 600, allowing more people to be carried during busy periods without having to run twice as many trains. Fact number 2. Why are some O-train platforms longer than the trains that use them today? It's all about future-proofing. Some stations, particularly the underground stations downtown, would be extremely difficult and expensive to lengthen after construction. So those platforms were built with the additional length from the beginning, 120 meters, allowing for the possibility of longer trains in the future. In other words, some of that extra platform space isn't being wasted. It's there because Ottawa built the infrastructure today with future capacity in mind. Fact number 3. Why don't O-train trains always travel at their maximum speed? Line 1's LRVs are capable of speeds of around 100 kilometers per hour, but that doesn't mean they can or should travel that fast everywhere. The permitted speed depends on things like curves, switches, stations, track conditions, and the signaling system. So while you might see the train reach much higher speeds on some sections of the line, other sections have much lower speed limits. The maximum speed is just that, the maximum. It isn't the normal operating speed everywhere. Fact number 4. What happens if an O train breaks down? A disabled train on line 1 doesn't necessarily mean that the entire line has to remain shut down. Depending on the situation, a disabled train can be recovered and moved out of the way, allowing normal service to resume. Special procedures and equipment are available to move a train that can't continue under its own power. The exact recovery procedure depends on what went wrong, where the train is located, and whether it can still move under its own power. In situations where the train isn't able to move, a diesel recovery vehicle, aka the shuttle wagon, can be deployed to recover and tow the disabled train back to the yard for repair. So when you see a disabled train being dealt with, there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than simply sending another train to pull it. Fact number 5. How does an O train turn around at the end of the line? Unlike a bus, the train doesn't have to physically turn around. The train reaches the end of the line and changes direction using the railway's track and signaling infrastructure. Depending on the location and operating conditions, the train can use a crossover or other track arrangement to move onto the opposite track and begin its journey in the other direction. A new rail operator boards the train and then operates the train in the opposite direction. Fact number 6. What are those crossovers between the tracks actually for? A crossover is a section of track that allows a train to move from one track to another. They're an important part of the railway infrastructure because they give the railway flexibility. They can be used when trains need to change tracks during normal operation, during service disruptions, or when a section of track needs to be taken out of service. So those seemingly complicated pieces of track aren't just there for decoration. They give the O-train options when things don't go exactly as planned. Fact number 7. Ever been sitting on an O-train and wondered why it stopped in the tunnel? One possible reason is that another train is ahead. Line 1 uses a moving block, signaling, and train control system to maintain safe operation and separation between trains. If the train ahead is occupying the section of track that your train needs to enter, your train may have to wait until it is safe to proceed. So the next time your train stops unexpectedly in the tunnel, or really anywhere along the line, it doesn't necessarily mean something has gone wrong. The system may simply be making sure that there's enough space between you and the train ahead. Fact number 8. Ever notice those strange looking gaps in the overhead power wire on line 1? They're called section insulators. They're designed to maintain the continuity of the overhead equipment while electrically separating one section of the catenary from another. This allows sections of the overhead power system to be electrically isolated when necessary, such as during maintenance or an electrical fault. And even though it looks like there's a break in the wire, it's actually part of the design. Fact number 9. How does an automated O-train know where it is? Line 1 uses a system called CellTrack CBTC, supplied by Thales. CBTC stands for Communications-Based Train Control. The system continuously communicates information about the train and the railway, allowing the position and movement of the trains to be monitored and controlled with a high degree of precision. This technology is one of the key components that allows Line 1 to operate in automatic or manual control while maintaining safe separation between trains. There's an incredibly sophisticated system constantly keeping track of where that train is and what it's allowed to do. Fact number 10. Did you know railway tracks aren't always perfectly level when they go around a curve? This is called super elevation. The outside rail on a curve is raised slightly higher than the inside rail. This helps the train negotiate the curve more smoothly by counteracting some of the sideways forces created as the train travels around the curve. It also allows trains to travel through curves more efficiently and safely than they could if the track were completely level. So the next time you're riding around a curve, take a look at the track or see if you can feel the train tilting slightly. It might not be as level as you think. Bonus fact number 11. What exactly is level M at Parliament Station? Well, that's a good question.
And now we're bringing you exclusive visuals from inside the mysterious level M. As you can see here, this rarely seen area of Parliament Station contains, well, that's certainly unexpected. Our cameras appear to be experiencing some sort of interference, but this is, without question, one of the most exclusive looks ever at level M. And, well, we're going to leave it at that.